Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are tackling the biggest problem with LLMs, amnesia. You see, standard LLMs are stateless. You tell them your name, but if you restart the script, they forget you exist. That's useless for real-world apps. Today we are going to learn about agent sessions in the Google's Agent Development Kit.
Okay, now let us go through the agent development kit documentation. In this session is like a conversation thread. Like when you use ChatGPT or Gemini, in that you can see you can create a new chat icon in that, and each chat will be stored separately, and you can interact whenever you want to interact with that respective chat. You can go and interact with this. Those chats are the sessions. Similar to that in ADK, it is also has an session object, and it is maintained by a session service. And this session objects has an identification by using session ID, app name, and also user ID which we need to give, and also this history like the conversation history, like the tool calls, the function calls, the input which we give and the output which we receive from the model. All these history are stored in the events object. And there is another object called state, in which we can store temporary data, like respective to the ongoing conversation we can store that data, and which this data can be modified using ADK tools itself. So it will be very useful when I am going to explain the reminder agent. And also there is a last update time, which in which we can update timestamp at which we lastly updated the session. We can create and manage our sessions using session service in ADK. And three types of session service implementations are there. One is in memory session service. This is not persistent. When you kill your program, the session information data will be lost. It is like RAM memory. When you kill the process, the memory is gone. Next is Vertex AI session service. This is persistence memory. Actually, the memory is stored in Vertex AI cloud so that it is persistent, and all the memory latest configuration are done by the Vertex AI itself. So it and also another session service, that is database session service. You can use SQL database in order to store your session related data. These are the three types of session services which are available, and this is the session life cycle, in which you can see the user is asking help me to do, and it is creating a session ID, and the session ID is given to runner will run the LLM. This is how the session is architectured. And through session as services like session state, that is the temporary data which I told, an artifact service also, like if you want to store large like a PDF or very large amount of data, you can use this artifact. And also there is memory, where you want to store chunks of memory. Let's be seeing deeply about those memories in the next video. I will posting it in the next video. And also the execution logic. The execution logic, the LLM invocation, callbacks, tools, or everything is called by the runner, and everything is encapsulated inside the session. This is the reminder agent architecture which we are going to build now. This is the session, and all the operations are encapsulated inside it. The input, LLM, output, and also the tools, add and remove tool. And also this session has state and events separately, and in this state we are going to store our reminders, and this add and remove tools are used to add and remove the reminders. With this add tool we can add the reminders in the state, and also with the help of remove tool we can remove the whichever reminder we don't need from the state. Now let's go through the code to understand what is happening behind the scenes. These are the required imports which we need for a agent. We are calling load.env function in order to load the environment variables from the .env file. The environment variables which we need is the Google API key, because we need to use it to call Gemini model. And also I am defining the retry config. This retry config I would have explained in my previous videos. You can go through that. And also I am using the app name as default, and user ID is also default. And also for the model I am using Gemini 2.5 flashlight, and the session name, I'm just for this testing purposes I'm keeping it as interactive session. And this session state is a dictionary, and in this dictionary I have defined a reminders key, and in this reminders key I will be storing and removing the reminders. And also I have added the add reminder tool, which is a function tool, and also remove reminder tool, which is a function tool. Now I have set up the agent. In this root agent, I have selected the model as Gemini and I gave the name as reminder agent. And in this instruction, you can see, this is the important part, that I have added a placeholder called reminders. This is the main feature of the session state. What you can do is, when you have added something in a session state, you can actually use those keys in the instruction as placeholders, and it is like directly injecting the state data into the prompt. But if you did not define the reminders in the session state dictionary, then it will throw an error. So if you use the placeholders here, it is mandatory to have that placeholders as a key in the session state. And also I have added the tools, add reminder tool or remove reminder tool. And for this session service, I have used in-memory session service. For this in-memory session service is not persistent. And after showing that it is not persistent, I will also demo you the database session service and show that this database session service is persistent. Even if we restart the program, we can see that the data is not erased. And I have defined the runner, and then calling the run interactive session function. Now let's go into the tools and this run interactive function. Now this is the run interactive session. It takes user ID, the runner instance which we created, the session service which we defined, and also the session name and session state as input. And we are getting the app name by using runner instance. And first what we are doing is creating a session. In this creating a session, we are first checking whether the session is present or not. If the session is new and it is not present in the memory, we are creating a session. But if the session is there, then what we are doing is we are just getting the session from the memory. And then by using the Python input function, we are in the while loop, we are giving the inputs and getting the model outputs. And if I give exit or quit, come out of the loop. And the query must be given to the model by using the types dot content object. And in this I am calling the runner instance by using run in async method. And by I am after running this method, I will get the output in the chunk dot text. And then I will be printing this output so that the user can see. So this is the add reminder function. In this you can see that I added the tool context as a parameter. This tool context is automatically given to the tool. That is, each tool call with the agent makes, the tool context is sent as parameter automatically. And this tool context contains the invocation context, function ID, event action, and tool confirmation. And also we can get the state information by the tool context. By using this tool context only, we will be adding and removing the state variable. Now we are getting the state from the tool context, and we are appending the reminder which we told the agent to add. And then we are returning a status and up reminder. We can see we are removing the reminder from the tool context. We are getting the state, removing the reminders, and then adding it in the state, and then returning the status as success. This is what happens behind the scenes. Now let me run the agent.py code. I'm running it using in-memory session service. So now let me say, hi, my name is Hari, and it is replying, hi Hari, I am reminder agent. How can I help you manage your reminders today? Then I will say add drink water daily as reminder. So it's saying that it has added the drink water daily to a reminder. Now let me close this program by giving exit. Now again I will run this program. Now you will say, you can see that it is saying it is not able to help with that. So now let's ask, what are the remind. We can see that the reminder list is empty, but in the previous chat we can see that we have added drink water daily as reminder. From this example we can understand that in-memory session does not retains after we exit the chat. So now let us try the database memory session. Now in this I'm commenting this code and uncommenting these two lines to enable the database memory. Okay. I will give the same prompts. Add drink water daily as, yeah, it's saying that I've added the drink water daily to a reminder. So let us check. Yeah, it's showing us drink water daily is coming. Now let us give exit. Now you'll say list the reminders, and we can see that we are able to get that the chat is persisted. I mean, the data is not erased and it is persisting across session even if we restart the program. Now let's see where this is actually stored. In this code, I have given the database name as my agent database, and it has created a database. And in this, you can see all the data which we have present. This is app states. This is the app name and the state, and also the update time which we see in the which we saw in the documentation. This is the events which uh, which stores the conversation history. We can see the events. It stores we can see the role as user that we can go through these events in order to get the what are all prompts and what are all the model output which we got from it. And in these sessions we can see that the session id is interactive session, and also in the reminders we can see that a drink water daily is been added. With this, we can confirm that a session is persisted. There is also another session service called Vertex AI Session Service, in which, like this, database handling is handled by the Vertex AI in the cloud itself. I have uploaded the code in the GitHub. You can get the link from the description. And also, the next video which I will be posting is about agent memory. So don't forget to subscribe to get updates.